What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about everything you're going to need to go car camping. Now if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure you stick around for the video because we're going to cover a good bit. And if you want some tips on how to pack all this stuff, make sure you check out my other videos. I have a few that I'll be posting depending on the different kind of vehicle you have, Jeeps, SUVs, cars, all that fun stuff. So if you're looking for that, check it out. But let's jump into it. So basically speaking, you're going to need 9 different things while camping. The first thing you're going to need is a tent with your stakes and footprint. Now, footprint is basically just whatever goes under your tent. Some people bring an extra tarp, some tents come with them. That's kind of up to you or your preference. If you need more details on that, make sure you drop in the comments. I'd be happy to discuss. But you kind of can't camp without a tent unless you're going to camp inside your car, which is also an option, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Especially if you're a smaller person and you can fit horizontal in your car, it's usually really easy to just put some blankets down and lay sideways. Unfortunately, I'm a little too tall for that. So if I do lay in the back, it's vertically and it gets a little tight. So I've opted for a rooftop tent or a regular tent, depending on the situation. I've also built platforms in the Jeep before, but you don't have to worry about that. The next things you're gonna need is a sleeping bag and or sleeping pad. Now, a sleeping bag is just something that'll keep you warm. If you don't have a sleeping bag, there is absolutely nothing wrong with just taking some blankets from your house. Comforters are nice because they're a little thicker, give you a little bit extra cushion. But if you're cool with sleeping on the ground with just a little blanket, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people camp with literally nothing. Just on the ground, out in the woods, no blankets, nothing. So nothing wrong with it. If that's your option, go for it. The next couple things are a little bit more of a convenient thing than a necessity, but still pretty nice to have when you're going camping. And that's going to be your camping chairs and or tables. So myself, a lot of campgrounds have tables. I bring one just in case. I almost never use it, but it's a nice thing to have. But camping chairs, I always bring a ton of them. I have a ton, so I throw a couple extra ones in the car whenever I'm going. You'd be surprised how many people just either forget them or, you know, they're at a different site, so they just want to grab one of yours. It's just convenient. But camping chairs are probably my favorite non-necessity item to bring. It's really nice sitting around a fire. The next 2 are going to go together, and that is a cooler as one, and then your camp cooking setup as your second one. So your cooler is really only necessary if you have things that need to stay cold. For me, I brought one thing that needed to stay chilled. I bought it on the way. I didn't need to use my cooler at all. It's a steak. It's been sitting out. I'm going to cook it in probably 20 minutes. It's going to be fine. But I do bring a cooler just in case I need to put stuff in there. It just makes it a lot better of a peace of mind to have a cooler and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I bring one. Next thing is a camp cooking setup. Some people cook over the fire. A lot of campgrounds like this one actually have a grate over the fire pit that you can just fold down and cook on it. They're usually a little rusty looking, but I think safe to eat. Maybe not, don't quote me on that one. But I also just got a Coleman double burner grill that I brought to try out. So you don't have to bring it, you can. I've also used little backpacking single burner burners before. It's not something you have to have. You're also able, depending on your situation, you can just run to the store, get food when you're hungry. There's nothing wrong with that either. So depending on the kind of camping you're doing, your options might be a little bit different. We're talking about car camping. Bring a snack, go get breakfast in the morning. You don't even have to bring either of those. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is your lighting, and it's really nice to have a headlamp. If you are going to invest in one, I recommend getting a rechargeable one. For me, it just worked a lot better. If I had to get batteries, I wouldn't do it. If I had to charge it, it was a lot easier. Plus I can charge it on the way or whatever it might have, but for me that works. I also have some video lights that I bring as just overall like around the table lights. I can throw it on the side. These batteries run forever, so they're pretty cheap lights and they work really well. So if that's something you're interested in, I will actually be linking all of this stuff, or at least a version of all of this stuff, in the description down below. So if you want to pick it up, use my affiliate link. It would really help me out and I would appreciate that. But yeah, lights are definitely, I would say, a necessity just for a safety point of view. And that is mostly because if you're wandering around a campsite at night, like this one in particular, there's no lighting here at all. So having lights is going to be a necessity as it gets later, just to make sure I'm not tripping over stuff while I'm walking around, or, you know, just to keep animals away and whatnot. So definitely bring those. Probably not a 100% necessity, but Better safe than sorry. And then the last thing you're gonna need is your personal items and your hygiene stuff. So again, probably a little bit dependent on your situation. If you're going out for a night, bring a change of clothes. If you're going out for a weekend, maybe bring a little suitcase. Same with hygiene stuff. You could probably get away with not wearing extra bit of deodorant or brushing your teeth 4 different times if you're like me. But I do like to bring all my stuff. I brought a small suitcase for the weekend, and I brought my little travel case for all my hygiene stuff, my toothbrush, my cologne, deodorant, all that stuff. I don't like to smell dirty, so judge me, it's fine. So those are the first 7. The next 2 are a little bit more dependent on your camping situation. You probably won't need them more than likely, but if you're watching this and you're a little more advanced, you could, or maybe you will eventually. So those are a water filtration system of some kind and navigation tools. So water filtration system is nice to have in case you get into a pinch where you run out of water or the water you have becomes contaminated. It's just an extra peace of mind. And if you're gonna be doing any kind of backpacking or stuff like that, it's 100% necessary, because the last thing you wanna do is get out somewhere far away, drink some water, get sick, and be stranded somewhere. So if you're gonna do that kind of camping, we're gonna make some different videos for that in the future. But as far as car camping goes, you can probably get away without it. But if you have it, or if you wanna bring it, why not? Next thing is navigation tools. It's nice to have some fold-out maps. I don't know about you, but I like to have those just for local parks that I'm going to. It makes it nice to be able to kind of just walk around, especially a place like this. I barely have any service. That's kind of what I prefer. So if you don't have service and you can still be somewhat aware of where you are, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable, and you don't turn those 1-mile hikes into 10-mile hikes, which has happened before. That is all we have for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate you to hit that subscribe button. We got a new channel going, and we're trying to grow it just a little bit to help more people get involved with camping from every level, beginner all the way up to advanced, and we'll see where it goes. But again, if you learned something, I'd really appreciate that sub. And don't forget, if there's anything you saw in the video that you really liked, check the links below. Check out the affiliate links. I will be linking all of this stuff or a version of it for your purchase, and you really do help me out by using those links. So check it out. I appreciate it. Until next time, I appreciate you. Peace.